We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, please, if you would stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adriana, you would do roll call, please.
Absolutely. Tanya,
Here.
Brian,
Here.
Libby, here, Fritz, Sean,
Here.
We do have a quorum. Next up, we do have a change to the meeting agenda. We're going to be moving item 3A from new business. Or 3A to 2B. Because we are taking off the annexation for Flora Property. And I'll need a motion to do that, please.
I'll make a motion to remove 2B and insert 3A into tonight's agenda.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. And looking for a motion to approve minutes from June 15th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from June 15th, 2026.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's my money. Okay. First up, we have council to consider additional requests from Jared Hiner for the 22nd annual Kammy's Cause to be held on Saturday, August 29th. Jared? Oh, see it links. Can't get it out of my.
Hello, council. I'm on. All right. Thank you for having us on the schedule. Jared Hiner, 925 Linda Drive. I'm here on behalf of Because Incorporated, who is putting on the event called Kammy's Cause on August 29th this year. So just as a quick reminder, Kammy's Cause on that date of August 29th is going to host 33 bands on 5 stages over the course of 10 hours, noon to 10. While we're also putting on the 17th annual Kammy's Ride, the big motorcycle ride that we do. Thank you, Fortville PD, for escorting that always. And we understand that parking is a premium at events like these, but so is the safety and comfortability of our event that we're putting on for the public. This is only going to be a one-time request as we plan on moving back over to Landmark the following year once all the construction is complete. So I'm here today to get the town's approval for us to add the big circus-style tents. I have 2 of them that I would like to bring just off of Main Street. The first one that I would need the town's approval for would be the parking lot directly behind Prana Wellness and the VFW. So not the American Legion's parking lot, that is their own and that road that divides them, but it would be that other one directly behind it. Our idea here, after we've looked at, the landscape of Main Street and what we have realistically to work with this year, I'll be honest, in 2019, it was very difficult to put on a kid zone on blacktop in direct sunlight. This bounce houses get to be like 150 degrees to the touch. We had kids puking in them. It was all kinds of craziness, beating up our crew members, all kinds of stuff. So the heat will make you do things. So the idea then is that if we could put up a big tent, which we are looking at one that is 40 feet by 60 feet. Once you factor in the ropes that come out and the stakes, it'll be 50 by 70. That fits perfectly right into those first few blocks of parking that kind of face the American Legion parking lot as well. If you can see on the maps that we provided, you guys have pictures of those? Did Andy give those to you? So on the bigger one that focuses on that parking lot, you'll notice that along the tracks, then those parking spaces, those are going to be reserved for our food trucks this year. So taking a different approach to how we set up things on Main Street, hoping that one day we might be doing more events with the town of Fortville. So looking at ideas like this, it's always been a big issue with traffic, foot traffic, when those are out on Main Street, kind of junking up the whole flow of everything. So it would be to put them over there, create line queues for those to keep everything nice and orderly. We have that then orange square, which represents the Kids Zone tent. And then we have things like Laura Kopetsky Triax is a big sponsor of ours, and they're bringing out their big American flag brand new triaxle. So they always have the really cool painted dump trucks that you see throughout Indy. They're always unique and really fun, and they bring one out every year for the kids to get in and honk the horn and do all that good stuff. We're trying our best to get a monster truck out there as well. So that would be like the additional parking kind of to the west of that tent that goes along Merrill Street there. So that would be the approval that I'm seeking from the town. We've already been in contact with the company. They will drill, stake, and then patch that when they leave. It would be a Friday setup. It would be a Monday removal. So unfortunately, that thing would have to be shut down, Thursday at midnight into Friday through Monday when they remove it. So we understand with the businesses that can be a strain. We've already communicated with those businesses. We have sent out emails to them. We have gone into their shops when we could, talked to them, had those conversations to make sure that we're not causing any, unneeded stress or anything to their business, because we feel confident that the foot traffic that we bring with this event offsets losing that parking lot for a day or two, right? With our attendance being over 5,000 the past several years straight, we feel really good about that. The people that are going to be walking inside of those businesses and spending their money right here in Fortville. So we have an appointment with 811 that would be, 5 to 2 days prior before. And then we have already made contact with CSX about putting in a slowdown order for that day, which we have to reach out a week ahead of time. So we've got that on the calendar as well. So that's the first thing. I don't know if we need to stop right there and have you guys talk about that one, or if you'd like me to continue to the second tent.
I don't have a problem with it. Anybody else have questions?
You said you spoke to the other businesses. What'd they say? Did they say anything?
So far, no, the feedback we got was just about the other road closures. When we planned on shutting down everything else in Main Street, more exploratory about those types of things than the concern over that parking lot specifically. Not saying there won't be any disgruntled people that we just haven't heard from yet, but we'll do our best to get in there and speak with them directly.
I guess my question would be maybe about the parking. Have you guys thought about maybe shuttling some people? Do you think there's a need to do that?
Where would we shuttle from?
I don't know. Well, I
Right.
mean, that's why I said there, unless it would be like the lot across from the Catholic Church or.
I mean, if there's not too much going on, we could paint up Landmark and turn that pitch into a infield parking if it's dry enough and whatnot to create additional parking.
Yeah.
Right. If there's not construction equipment or things being roped off right there, we could utilize that space and create realistic parking lots. The other thing is that the parking lot right across from Landmark, I have it on my map originally that I showed to you all that we would, be reserving that. We would lift that and open up that one since we are looking at the one on Main Street.
Well, that'll help too,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
The other idea I have, which is a concession that we totally can make, is on Friday, once that tent gets built, you can see where it's at on that map. We could block off that part of it and open back up the entire train side, right? And that's another 20 to 30 spots that we could then open up. If we could ask to be first thing on Friday, their first job, maybe we can open that up, and that is open for them to use Friday, and then we'd have to close it at Friday for Saturday. So that is something that we could budge on as well, if need be.
We have a Main Street owner here. Jody, do you have an issue with that parking lot? Do you know what he's talking about? Oh. So it'll be closed Friday. Okay, just making sure. Cool with that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, both of you.
I'm good. I think we're okay here.
Very cool. The second one is, I wanted to let you know because it is next to town property, but it won't be on town property. So our fifth location changed where we're going to have live music. It is moved to the back parking lot of Fox Garden. And so we're going to put in a 20 by 30 tent on the parking lot, on Fox Garden side of that parking lot. So the entire thing will fit on Jake's property there and won't dip into the town's property right next to it. But I wanted to do the courtesy of letting the town know that is what our plan was to do in that parking lot. Again, we're going to have live music under it. I think he's going to have food under there, perhaps an outside bar, things like that. Since we won't be bringing any outside alcohol vendors at all. It's just up to Dora and the Main Street businesses.
That's nice.
So that would be the second one. And then the other map that I provided was just the road closures that we plan on making. Those would go into effect midnight, Friday night. So our footprint basically will start about midnight on Friday, working through all morning Saturday. So the stage arrives at 4 a.m. And we'll be out there building, from midnight on. It'll be a very long day, but it'll look really cool. You can see that everything that we shut down, we went into great detail to take into consideration all of the businesses. So we are leaving open the alleyways that go behind those Main Street businesses because those can get in there and turn around and exit. And so we have those marked on that map. And where we would have to block those, you can see right there on Stat Street as it goes west of Main. That's where we're going to have all of the motorcycles pull in and stage the bikes until they all start filtering out, right? So that's why we have the closure going out a block on Stat Street that way. And the alleys that correspond with that. So that's just a safety measure. Again, it does allow for entrance and exit. We've even gone so far as to have A-frames made that are at the mouth of all of those that say no public parking, restaurant and residential only. So we will have those mounted at all of those. And just as an effort, we can't police everything, but we can at least put signage there to discourage people from trying to go back there and find parking.
Yeah.
We've got it, we backed off of shutting it down all the way at Pendleton Pike. We are moving that all the way up to that intersection with 305. So Chief, the idea was if you had a cruiser right there at that intersection, just kind of enforcing that Main Street's closed at that point, but we can still allow all the traffic to flow through. Coming in from Pendleton Pike, I forget what street that is that goes right next to 305.
No.
Leaving that open to connect with everything else. So we're really just barricading ourselves on Main Street, going out a half a block. We won't be blocking the post office at all. We have no reason to. So that'll remain open back there. We're just trying to think of everything there. So
Doing a great job.
that'll start at midnight and we should be gone, no trace of us by midnight the following evening. Except for the stage. They usually take till about 1 or 2 a.m. to get out of there. But that's all I have. I appreciate everything and thank you for the yes. We're going to make a really cool event, make you guys proud.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
you will.
And then, Jared, you just a friendly reminder that for the tents that you need to put up and for the stage, just make sure you reach out to the Vernon Township Fire Department to make sure that they inspect that stuff after it's up.
Yes, we've got a fire marshal set up. It's all of our DHS permitting and everything is dependent on the fire marshal. We've already got that set up.
Perfect.
Once we had this, now we can add it to our footprint and then give them all the plans. But yes, we will contact Vernon as well. We had that conversation last year with them. Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Jared. Well, you probably should just stay up here if you want, Jared. This is about you. This was Andy's idea, and we discussed this, and we're gonna make present the resolution to the council tonight to make the month of August, the entire month, Kammy's Cause Month. I'm going to read this. I'm going to try to read it. It's hard for me not to get emotional around you. The Hiner family established Kammy's Cause and the annual musical festival and fundraiser held each August in Fortville in 2004 to bring awareness to and support for families affected by the 4P and Wolff-Hirschhorn syndrome, an extremely rare chromosome disorder that disproportionately affects children, including the Hiner's daughter, Kammy Hiner. Kammy's Cause has grown into the largest fundraiser in the United States for the 4P support group, which provides a myriad of services to families impacted by WHS and helps fund research programs and a biannual national conference to fight WHS. Kammy's Cause exemplifies small town life and bringing the town and community together each year in support of one of its residents' families and to further the mission of the organization. The Town Council of the Town of Fortville, Indiana, desires to memorialize its support and celebration of Kammy's Cause for the positive impact it has on families affected by WHS and on the town. So, be it therefore resolved by the Town Council of Fortville as follows. The foregoing recitals are incorporated into this resolution. Every August shall be hereby and hereafter recognized as Kammy's Cause Month in the town. And it will be passed and resolved by us today. And Andy has some more words for you here, so I'll give it to him.
Made you do that, so I didn't have to get emotional.
I'm terrible, yeah. I'm surprised I got through it.
So, all right, Jared, so we've talked about it, I don't know how many times now, but as we've mentioned it at our business meeting since February, we talked about it with our Main Street businesses and everybody here in Fortville, that we've wanted to dedicate, August to Kammy's cause and everything through all of our businesses, but it's been something that I've thought for a long time, this would be awesome to do for the family and everything, but all, just dedicate that month, absolutely to you guys. Also, I've talked with Joe and Tanya about this, but doing a home of sign for you guys as you come in and out of Fortville. I wanted to get with you on art, what the wording should be for the event for you guys, and the colors, how we should make it look, and all of that. So I wanted to do that here today, but really get with you on everything on how we should make this look, and then present that at the festival. On the stage when we do everything, once the ride comes back and all of that, and just do a kind of a ribbon cutting for that. Of course, I just want to get with you on the wording and all that, just make this awesome. Make it the best we can. And every time you come in and out of Fortville, everybody sees it. I mean, this is it, man. It's awesome. I don't know what else to say, but it's just, this is home. This is home for you, and this is home for it. So we appreciate everything you do and everything. I look at that website every single day, and I mean, I love your family. I love you. I love everything you guys do, and I'm so proud of you and what you've done. I mean, I've known you since you were that little, but just again, what you've done. And the fact that you brought so much awareness to it, the support group and everything, and all these people here that I got a hold of Aaliyah and was able to say, hey, could you bring in everybody that you could, and let's make this thing happen. So thanks to the council and everybody for their support with this. But so August dedication, the whole month from here on out, it's for you guys. So thank you very much for everything.
Golly. Well, on behalf of myself and my family, and especially Cam, who's she's at her mama's right now, so she's not at this right here. I can't say she's not with us. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow. There's other business you guys got to get to tonight. But I will say this, like for years and years and years, I've been sitting here and I'm like, what else can we do to just make Fortville just embrace it and just wrap their arms, and this is the hub. This is the source of all the funding, all the information, all of the hope and support comes from this town, this event that we do in this town for the entire world. We are the heart that pumps the blood out to them. I mean, and to hear that, it just reminds me of how great this town is and why we're still here and why we continue to do what we do. And I just want to say thank you all very, very much. That is incredibly kind. And I sent my work email today to all the higher ups. Luckily my work is a big sponsor, and reminding them of the event. And I said, although we've completed the mission, the work has just begun. And I think that there it is. So
Yeah.
thank you guys. Thank you very much. And thank you for letting me have time tonight, everybody. And look what we did, guys. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, before we vote on that resolution, Chief had a good idea to change Main Street to Kammy's Street or.
Oh, yeah.
Kammy's
That'd be
Cause,
great.
or
Yeah.
Every August we could do that.
Yeah.
Joe said we could too.
Yeah. Can we do that, Joe? Okay, let's do it. We'll do that too, Jared.
think you heard.
Yeah.
Jared, we're going to change Main Street every August to Kammy Street. Are you okay with that? You all right? Okay.
Yeah, I bet she will. She will. Yeah. Yeah. But we need to, vote on this.
I'll make a motion to approve first reading of resolution 2026-7A.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And for the record, there's only one reading. For the
One read down. This is the one.
This is the.
So moved. Okay.
I think we need a break.
All right. Next up, we have council to consider the appointment of new police commissioner. And we have brought the candidates here to be interviewed by other council members or answer any questions that they may have. And I think, Chris, you want to come up first, since I know you're wanting to get out of here. This is Chris Sears. She's one of the candidates here for the police commission. So
Sorry.
I guess you can tell everybody a little bit about, I know we're all teared up here, so. Hi. Tell us a little bit about you, yeah.
Speak into the mic because it won't pick up online.
Well, I hate public speaking of any sort, so I'm just kind of going to read what I sent in. Kind of tells about myself. I've lived in Fortville since December of 2017, and I've been a part of the auxiliary department since then, so roughly about 8 years now. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm just that.
That's all right.
Why'd you do that before this?
I'm sorry.
I have remained strongly committed to supporting both our police department and the well-being of our community. This is the third time that I've applied for the commission, reflecting my continued commitment to serving Fortville in a greater capacity and my belief in the importance of this role. My involvement in the community initiatives include helping lead a successful fundraiser for our police canine, coaching basketball, participating in Kammy's Cause, supporting charity ride events, and coordinating treats on Main for several years now. I've also been actively involved with Shop with a Cop and the 4th of July celebration and community night when we had it, and various other assignments given to me by our prior chief and our current chief, Bratton. These experiences, along with positive working relationship I have built with our officers, have provided me with a strong foundation for serving on the police commission. I'm confident that my continued dedication, proven reliability, and strong working relationships would allow me to make meaningful and positive impact on both the department and our community. With that said, I've been around law enforcement my whole life. I've been in this community. I've worked for Poindexter Excavating for 9 years. I've been in construction for about 28 years. So I'm used to dealing with all types of personalities. And I want to make a difference. And that's why I'm here.
Okay. Questions, anybody?
I guess what differences are you looking to make?
I would like to see more community involvement, which, I've pushed out there sometimes because I feel like our officers and even town council and police commission don't have a really good view because they're not out in the community as they used to be. I mean, we used to have community night every year. We had coffee with a cop. We had a lot more involvement with the officers in the community. I'd like to see more of that. I would just like to see some diversity in the commission, to be honest. And I feel like I can bring that to the table. I'm a strong believer in what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And it's as simple as that.
Can you think of a time that you've ever had to make an unpopular decision just because it was the right thing to do?
Yes. I had to fire my husband from the company I work for because he wasn't doing his job. So somebody.
That was a rough one.
Yeah. We're not married anymore.
Yeah. Oh. Well, that sums it up, right?
Right. But no, I have to do that every day
Yeah.
in the industry that I'm in. I'm in management, and sometimes there are some hard decisions to make, but it's not just about the individual person. It's about, you know, my company, our company as a whole. So.
So is there any personal or professional conflicts of interest or anything in your background that would compromise public trust in your role in this?
I have never been arrested. No, I don't think so. And like I said, I am a pretty diverse person. I don't go with what somebody tells me. I pretty much make my own decisions. And, you know, so no, not really.
What's the word fair mean to you?
Doing what's right, essentially. I mean, I think everybody should look. I see a lot of this, and not just in my industry, but just in general, people taking a lot of what other people say instead of doing their own research. And to me, being fair is going in and looking at it yourself and making a sound decision, you know, based off all of the facts. If somebody's wrong, punish them the way they're wrong. You know, you don't have to nail them to a wall, depending on what happens. And if somebody's doing the right thing, then you have their back. That's fair. I don't think just because, you know, majority thinks somebody did something wrong that you need to go that route unless you feel that way by finding your own information. If that makes sense.
I just have one more question. I don't know about anybody else, but what do you think your biggest learning curve would be?
Patience. I'm very self-aware. I have to deal with it every day with the boys that I call it a glorified babysitting job. So patience is probably, because anybody that knows me is when I'm passionate about something, I'm passionate. So it's about just being patient with it. I think I'll get a lot further with that than maybe how I react at work sometimes. So yeah, patience is probably my biggest curve. But I'm learning that with my daughter every day.
You're good?
Yep.
Libby, you have anything?
Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
in.
guys. I
Thanks.
appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just go to the top of the list here. Cory Munsell.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Hi there. Start with an introduction.
Yeah.
Please. My name is Cory Munsell. I live here in the town and I have since 2017. My wife, Courtney, she teaches in the schools, Mount Vernon. Our two boys, 7 and 6, they go to Mount Vernon schools. I started at Fortville Police Department in 2014. I worked here for 4 years before transferring to Noblesville. And the primary reason for the transfer was at that time in my life, you know, I needed to make more money and have better pay and benefits. So, and my wife and I were looking at getting married. We were looking at starting a family, you know, and so we had some realistic conversations. I didn't want to leave Fortville, but I felt like I kind of had to in order to make the best decision. So I went to Noblesville, transferred, started over. I passed up a promotion here right at the end before I left, pretty prestigious promotion. And it was hard to walk away and to start over at the bottom and begin proving yourself in a new agency. But that's what I did for the last several years. I've been there since 2018. I still work on the road there. I'm a canine handler on the day shift. So that's what I currently do. My wife and I just recently sold a business that we had here in Fortville, Paradise Shaved Ice. We ran that for 3 years, just sold in March. That was a really good experience, but we're glad to have our time back. So that's a little bit about myself.
So since you had worked here and transferred, I guess what ideas do you have regarding like recruitment, retention, and of qualified officers?
Yeah, so one of the things that I've done here, when I was here at Fortville as well as in Noblesville, I'm part of the background investigator team. And so I've learned the importance that getting the right people in the door is a major hurdle. Not necessarily a hurdle, but it's more important than what people might think. That might be a task that gets thrown to a road guy and says, hey, go do this meaningless task, it might seem. But we're stuck with those individuals if we make a bad hire for years. And they can cost a lot of money and liability. And so it's certainly important to make those, do those background investigations thoroughly. And so we've been to several trainings to do that and recruiting as well. And so just getting the right people in the door, finding out if there's a reason why we shouldn't hire them, and then advocating to try to recruit the best people that we can. And pay and benefits certainly help that. But there are a lot of other things outside of pay and benefits that I've learned over 12 years that sometimes can be equally or more important. So.
I'd ask you the same question. What's fair mean to you?
Fair is definitely taking all the facts in, listening to whatever it is you're being presented. It's not always equal, and it's not always the most popular decision, but it is what's right.
Have you ever served on a commission before?
I have not.
No.
This would be the first time for me if I was selected.
And I guess since you've worked here previously, probably know the chief. So how would you ensure completely impartial review of, for raises or disciplinary actions, things like that?
Yeah. I think that, so I have been what I deem in the trenches for 12 years, and that's just on the road. I've passed up promotions. I've not taken promotions. So I enjoy being where I'm at. I think that I've had a lot of support from our common council, from the board of police commissioners that was enacted when I worked here, when I started here. So when we first started, they weren't involved with us. It wasn't even established until I think it went to the Metropolitan Police Department. And that's when I think it came over, maybe in 15 or 16. And since then, within Noblesville, we've had, as you get older, you start to realize that, when you're a brand new officer, you're just wanting to take people to jail, you're wanting to despite crime and do all this kind of stuff. And you don't realize that there are people that support you in doing these jobs. And it's a lot easier when you have the support of the council and the board of police commissioners or common council or anybody. And so I've been fortunate to have a lot of people in my circle in those roles show the support, show that they've gotten to know us. We'll be at boom games and they'll come up and talk to my two boys. And so they've gotten to know us a little bit. So I think it's important for us to build those relationships too with the officers ahead of time, so that when you are faced with those decisions, like for me, seeing somebody that has taken time to get to know me certainly makes me feel like I'm getting a fair shake on whatever the situation is, if I'm facing disciplinary or whatever it is. So I think Pat knows me well enough that he knows that I'm not just going to go along with whatever decision comes down. I don't think that you could be successful in the law enforcement career if you're not able to do what's unpopular or what's hard sometimes. So, yeah.
So I guess with all that, why do you even want this position then?
Yeah. So there's a part of me that feels like I left a lot of things undone here in Fortville in that regard. And so I feel like having to leave early after 4 years, and I was really enjoying myself and the relationships that I made. And I think that I just have a lot left to give Fortville. And I think the experience that I have in law enforcement and the different capacities that I've served would help me make sound decisions and bring a different perspective to the board. So, like I said, we've had the opportunity to go to Hamilton County. We still live in Fortville. We had a business here. Our kids go to school here. I coach basketball here. So for us, this is home. And like I said, I feel like there's still a lot less that I could give Fortville. And that's what I think I can offer on the board.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cory.
Thank you for
Appreciate
the
it.
consideration. Thank you.
Yep. Next, we have Thomas Robinson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thomas Robinson. Tell you, I moved to Fortville 2009, been here since 2009. A new addition out there. My wife been here her whole life. So I'm retired military, 20 years active duty. Got over 66 months in the combat zone, retired to come back Fort Indiana. She's She's traveled 20 years with me around the world. She got to choose where we came back to. She wanted our daughter to go to Mount Vernon to graduate from the same high school she graduated from. So we came to Fortville. I've been here ever since, enjoyed it. For the last 17 years, I've been working with troubled teenagers up in Knightstown at the Hoosier Youth Challenge Academy. Probably the best job I've had besides the military. And would like to be on the commission to help make Fortville become the best city in Indiana, to overcome Carmel. We are better than Carmel. The best small town in the world, I think. And that's about me. I have a daughter, granddaughter, and wanting to stay in Fortville for the rest of my life.
Were you in any administrative positions in the?
I retired as first sergeant out of active duty military. I am the purchase administrator from for Hoosier Youth Challenge. We are closing down now, but I have done all the purchasing for the last 17 years and ordered all the stuff out there. And we have a CAT board out there, which is Cadet Administration Board. We have the one troubled teens. We have a weekly board there. Ones that get troubled, we do punishment and go on those boards.
So what do you think some of the key performance indicators would be to measure effective policing?
One, the community, show of force of community, not over forcing, respecting citizens, doing the right thing and following the rules and SOPs that are put out by the chief.
Have you ever had to work effectively with a group of people that disagreed with you?
Yes, I spent 22 months in Iraq, working with the MMD North Iraqi soldiers. Iraq Army, First Army, Second Army, and Third Army. I was their logistics officer for 22 months and trying to give them stuff, and they do not agree with the way. Once you give it to them, it becomes theirs. They don't share. We worked with their police department also, giving equipment. I issued armored vehicles for 12 months to all the governors over there while I was deployed. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to ask Cory this, but do you have anything in your background that would compromise public trust? And
I have nothing against it. I have, like I said, over 20 years of military service and 17 working for the state of Indiana. Do have one seatbelt violation about 12 years ago. Other than that, no.
You have anything else, Libby? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Theresa, if you want to come up, I know you were here, and just in case anybody wants to ask you questions, I guess this would be a good time to do it.
Yeah. People online and other people in the room. So my name is Theresa Werking. I've been a resident of Fortville since 2004. So that makes it 26 years. I've been here. I've watched the community ebb and flow. I've been very active in the community on and off over those 26 years. I raised 2 successful children in a very safe community. And I'd like to see the community continue to be safe. And I've just come to a time now where I think I'm ready to try giving back to the community in a different way. So that was why I submitted my letter of interest. I've known most of the people on the town council and in the police department, a lot of the people in the police department and here at the town hall for a long time. And just feel like I can contribute from a civilian point of view. I've not been involved in law enforcement or the military or anything like that, but I'm very happy to see such lovely and qualified people, including myself, submit their letter of interest. And I think any of the candidates would be a really good fit. And everyone brings something very interesting to the commission that I think would be of value. Last time, at the last meeting I was here, I think, Mr. Morgan, you asked me if I had an agenda. I do not have an agenda at this time. And my learning curve would be just learning the ordinances, the laws, and how things would, the information that I need to be effective, but I learn fast. And so I think that I would be a great addition to the police commission, just from a civilian point of view and raising children. And I pay attention to what goes on in other towns as they're growing, Fishers and Noblesville and Carmel and things like that, and see a lot of really great things happening. And I think Fortville is poised to adopt some of those things that they're doing as we're growing, because we're growing like crazy. But fairness to me is very subjective, but I think that just decisions can be made when you listen and you take in all of the information and collaborate with the other people on the police commission. I've worked for a global Fortune 500 company, and I've raised children. So yes, I have faced a lot of adversity and objection to my decisions over the years, but and I think I've come through that pretty well. I worked for the Catholic Church here in Fortville, and that can be a minefield. Anytime you work in a field like that, there can be a lot of dissension. So I think that I can be very diplomatic, very calm, very patient when faced with adversity or unpopular decisions that have to be made.
So do you have any thoughts on improving policy transparency and accountability to citizens?
Ooh, that's a hard question. Sure. Do I have any thoughts on policy transparency? I think it would depend on what the policy is, because I don't know that all policies need to be transparent. I think some are meant for public and some are meant for internal. And I think it just really depends on what that is. But I do think that transparency is very important. And depending on the circumstance, what has to be addressed in the public, it depends on those factors.
So, well, in your opinion, what would be a public policy and a internal?
Internal, I think internal would be pay and promotions and things like that, because I don't think that the public always knows what goes on behind the scenes and why decisions are made. And public would be, let's just say, for instance, a hot topic right now has been e-bikes and all of the motorized vehicles and even just bicycles on Main Street, and why a change or the inaction of a new ordinance might need to be made to keep people safe. Not only pedestrians and business owners, but those people using those modes of transportation. So.
And do you have anything in your background that would compromise public trust in this role?
Not a thing. Like I told you guys last time, I'm a rule follower. So, and I think sometimes that's harder than being a rogue, is following those rules and staying within the guidelines. So.
I can't remember if you said this. Have you been on any of the commissions? Have you served?
I have not.
Anything else?
Good.
You sure?
Just gonna answer the questions I
Yeah,
heard.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Teresa. Thank you all for enduring that. I know it's not easy to stand up in front of everybody and do all that. So we do have two of the police commissioners here. Do you guys want to speak? Have anything you want to say or ask any of the applicants? This is Ed Brand.
Thank you for having these interviews. Good evening, Madam President and the board members all. Alex. My name is Ed Brand. I'm a member of the Police Commission appointed by the Town Council. I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight on a matter of importance to our commission and to the town. I'm here to address the vacancy on the Police Commission. After careful reviewing all submitted resumes, the commission discussed the candidate and have reached a unanimous decision on the individual we believe is best suited to serve in that position. We gave this matter our full attention and acted in good faith to make the most possible resolution to this. That recommendation was respectfully submitted to the town board for consideration. I believe it is an importance that the commission role in this process be recognized and that the decision be given the weight it deserves. The members of the commission took this responsibility seriously, and our unanimous vote reflects the seriousness of our judgment and our commitment to serve the town well. I am concerned by any suggestion that our decision should be simply be set aside so that the candidate may appear before you for reconsideration of a matter that has already been decided. Doing so would diminish the purpose of the commission review and the values of the process we follow. We are asking for the respect of the commissioners. We are asking for respect for the commission's recommendations and for proper recommendations for the work they have done to reach this. Thank you for your time and consideration, and hope you continue to do the service you're doing now. Do you have any questions?
Who was the recommendation?
The recommendation is before you, and I would think it'd be unfair to release that right now. It's up to the town council to follow through with our recommendation. And if you don't see it as fit, then I think it's your job to send the recommendation back to the town or the commission for reconsideration and review.
What information did you guys use to make your consideration? Was it just the what's the word I'm looking for? The letter of interest and
we based our decision on the resumes submitted. We did not go out and do any research. We figured that the resume speaks for itself.
Anything else? Want to ask Ed?
I don't.
Thanks, Ed.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Jean, do you have anything? Are you good?
He can't hear you.
Gene Akers.
President of the Board of Commissioners. Thanks, council, for the interviewing process with these candidates. Every one of these candidates are outstanding citizens, I'm sure. I support Ed's message to the council, the recommendation that the Board of Commissioners has made to the town council. And we made that decision based off the information provided to us by each individual. But this board requires a lot of energy, and you have a lot going through your mind in reference to the department and the citizens and taxpayers of this town. We make the best decision we can to support the chief, the department, and everyone on the board. So again, I support Ed's recommendation to the board, to the council.
Thank you, Gene.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we have all that before us, do you guys want to try to make a decision here, or we're going to have accept the recommendation of the commission, or I'm going to let you guys choose what you want to do.
I'm ready to make a motion. I mean, I know.
It was a recommendation.
Go ahead.
I make a motion to nominate Cory Munsell for the new police commission.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Did you vote?
Yeah.
Welcome, Cory. Thank you. Thank
Hey,
you all.
thanks, everybody. I think everybody would have been awesome.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate everybody's interest. Yeah. Okay. Next up, then, we have the council to consider the first reading of ordinance number 2026-7A, establishing a registration and inspection program for rental housing units located within the town of Fortville. So Jerry is not here this evening. I thought he would be here to help walk us through this. I still have changes that I want to make, and I want to see if you were all had a chance to go through it and what we can offer to edit it again. That's why I was kind of hoping Jerry would be here to walk us into this. But
if we can get him to get.
yeah, we can. I mean, but I did finally go through it. I have concerns already up front. I see Randy's here. I'm sure I'm going to let him address his too. And I have conferred with some of the other property owners and gotten some feedback from them as well. So this isn't just me on my own doing this. So I think the urgency for this to happen is significant. And I think that we need to just get this down to fine tune this to as quickly as we possibly can. I mean, I think it's gone on too long and we've just kind of set back, and I feel it's a major concern that we need to deal with, and this is the best way to do it. So in the reading in this thing, a couple of the things that I'm just going to mention here. So I think we need to add some definitions here too as to what the agent is, a definition for the agent, and also a definition for owner's rights, because they're really not specifically mentioned in here. What are the owner's rights when it comes down to complaints and such? On what is this? The third page here, it lists the agent. That's where the definition needs to come in, as who is technically the agent, how we're going to justify him, and that could be added in the definitions, I guess. Then on the next page, the complaint-driven inspections. I'm assuming that anybody can file a complaint. It can be a tenant, a neighbor, our town inspector. It doesn't really clarify who's entitled to. I guess it's just based off of who actually can file the complaint, or if it even matters. I don't know if it does, but I think it would be nice to have a specific mention of that. Then on the next page, we have where they've asked for only 7 days to give notice for the issuance of these inspections. I think we better give 10 based on the time period for our mail service. 10 days probably would be a lot better than 5, and just to make sure that we get everybody contacted. And then also, I think we need to add something in here, and I just for liability purposes, I think, and Alex, you can jump in on this if you think I'm out of line, but I think that they need to have something needs to be said in here about securing pets from the tenants. I don't know that it should fall on the landlord, but maybe on the property or the tenant as well, to make sure if they do have pets and these inspections are going to happen, that they've been secured or something, so we don't, Jerry doesn't get chased by somebody's dog.
Or let one out.
Or whatever. Yeah, I don't want to be responsible for something happening to somebody's dog or cat or whatever. But I think that's probably something that needs to be added in here. And I did get some feedback, like I said, from some other people, and the fees that we've listed here are very, very low. And I think that in order to, and please know that I'm not talking about everybody in general here. There are a few people that are guilty of this, but not everybody. And I think that you have to get in somebody's pocket to get them serious about what's going on. And I don't think $100 is enough for an inspection fee if they have to go back and redo it, or if they find a violation. I think it needs to be like $500. And I think we need to find it, and that's another thing that I'll get to in a minute about what to do with this money. But I feel like that we need to at least up it to make it to make it more serious and harder to for them to just look over it and say, oh, okay, well, it's not that big of a deal. I'll give them $100 and we'll be on with it. I don't want it to turn into that. Same thing with the first inspection after the compliance time frame. If they go back and they've not done what they were supposed to do, we got a $200 fee in here. I think it should be $1,000 or somewhere in that area. I just don't think it's enough. I'm not saying it has to be that, but I think it needs to be more than that. So let's see, what was the other thing here? So on the suspension part, on that same page where it asks, we talk about the suspension. That's the penalty for not doing this. The suspension does mean that they can't rent that property. And I think it says on the next page, it says that they have to begin the vacation of the rental unit. The owner shall take all legal steps necessary to vacate the rental unit as soon as possible if that happens. So we need to clarify, I think, that what suspension actually means. And then under the rental housing fund established, all these fees in here, I think we need to look at a little bit closer. Like I said, I think they all need to be more. I mean, I've got some numbers on here and they might be way out of proportion, but I think we need to make them a little bit more significant to count. But I don't know what the plan is and if it's been discussed really about what to do with the money that they collect, but I think it should go back into the community somehow, maybe with working with the trustee's office or for people that can't pay their light bill or what. I mean, I don't think we have to imagine a certain amount of it should be used, to administrate all this, but a big part of it, I think we can give back into the community for life. And then that's just my opinion. These are all just my opinions. Now, because I went through it and I kind of dissected it. So if you guys, yeah.
So Adam, maybe you can, and this may be something different, totally out, but what do we charge for inspection fees for like building permits?
Well, it can vary and it's a little bit complicated, but say for a new single family permit, it's $700 plus 2 cents a square foot. But per Alex's advice, it's really an apples to oranges situation for this. The state, even recently, over the last few years, has ratcheted up the amount of fees, administrative fees that a local government can charge. And so I think that's why Alex had it at the nominal fee of application to be in keeping with what the state requires at only $5.
Okay.
So
yeah, I didn't know if that.
I had a few
benchmark.
I had a few comments from a staff perspective, if you want to hear those and
Yeah.
ponder them. One is if we had a family and they had many extended family members that were living in a unit, at what point would that constitute overcrowding? And under the definition of family, under this ordinance, presumably there would be no limit as long as they're all related. So it seems that if we want, the local government wants to regulate overcrowding, that we may want to visit that to the extent allowed under the law. There was another portion of state law, and I don't know if I'm looking at it in the wrong context or not, but it talks about a reasonable occupancy standard, and they set it at 2 individuals per bedroom. So I don't know if we can adopt that same requirement from Indiana law and plop it in the ordinance, or if that's in a different context. Just a few other minor comments. One is, I would suggest loosening the county contiguous requirements for the agent to maybe a 90-minute drive time. So for example, Jerry lives up in Kokomo. He drives to work every day, and you could have a property manager, for example, out in Zionsville that would not meet that requirement. So I would just do a 90-minute drive time, but that's up to you. And then the last one is, my professional opinion would be to have the town council as the body to hear the appeals rather than the BZA, only because this is a function that's within town code itself. It's not in the zoning ordinance, so it'd probably be better. I think the only advice I would have, the trade-off would be, is that by nature, the council is always a political body. And so whereas the BZA is essentially more apolitical, and they would just, there would be no politics involved. It's just, these are the facts. And then if they wanted to appeal it, it would go to court. But simply put, my advice would be, since this is a council ordinance, I would just have council review the appeals. But
Could BZA maybe go before them front, and they can give us a recommendation and work on it like that, like we do the other?
Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, but unfortunately, I don't think it would work that way.
Really?
So you can have BZA do it. You can have them be the body that would hear appeals, but it would still have to be done in accordance with how a BZA operates under the law. So with any of their decisions, any of them under Indiana law, if they appeal a BZA decision, it would always go to the courts. It does not go to council. So that's the only, that's another trade-off too, is frankly, if they were to make a decision that maybe you disagreed with, that it's out of your hands. So.
As far as like the occupancy limits and stuff, the things that I had found, like I said, what Bloomington does, is that something that we need to put into this, or is that just going to be a separate issue altogether?
I would put it into this, and because one of the main reasons for doing this is to address overcrowding, whatever that may be, however many people may be there. So Alex, did you have any comment on the overcrowding issue?
I would keep it.
Oh, okay.
This is registration and inspections, creating the power for Jerry or other Joe.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the building inspector to, one, gather the information of these rental properties, know who the actual owners are, who's responsible, and if there is some code violation, whether it be an overcrowding, occupancy limit, town ordinance, or state building code that the town can go in and enforce or push to enforce. They're really separate, and that's why the 4 pages of red ink at the end, which was the rental housing code, would have been the part that had that stayed, and you wanted to keep or create new ordinances that had a lot of the state building code standards incorporated in local ordinance. we could certainly add in the reasonable occupancy to a room or something like that there. So they really, the original draft was really two different components. One, creating the registration and the inspection, and then two, a lot of local controls of standards for what goes on inside of there. So I would keep them separate. Yeah, but I do agree with that. I want having the town council hear the appeals. It'd be similar to if Joe went out and made a decision, or Adam made a decision, that comes to the council.
Right,
And
right.
then you made your decision, and then if the property owner person disagrees with that, they have appellate rights as well.
Right.
I think that's, I agree with that, and that would probably be best for that council be the appellate body for.
As far as like the occupancy limits and stuff, are we allowed to do, I guess, kind of like what Bloomington did and be more restrictive than what the state seemed to have kind of lined out?
Well, look, I saw that come up.
Okay.
There is, I mean, we have home rule, right? Where if there isn't some sort of state code that governs any sort of activity, or if there is a state code that governs an activity and the statute allows the local authority to increase or decrease or set their own limits. I want to look at that.
Yeah.
I figured we have this conversation, look at all of those things back and say, here's what we can do. Kind of like the $5 fee. That's just the initial fee.
Right.
Is set, is capped at that. The inspection fees and penalties. I think penalties time and go to a lot of what you're saying.
Yeah.
That on the inspection fees, I think this was what Adam was referencing. Those any sort of fee that is related to services that the town provides needs to be kind of reasonably related to the expenditure of town. But that's not to say that you have that inspection fee, but they're also hit with penalty and penalty provision for not correcting something in a certain amount of time.
Right.
I think we can get to your concern there by adjusting those penalties or making sure that those penalties are assessed when someone doesn't do what they're supposed to do in the right amount of time, and you have to go out and inspect.
Right.
So I've been jotting all that down.
Yeah. You got the gist of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have another staff question for Alex. Page 5 under 157.08 subsection C. Inspection officer shall request a search warrant from the court. Once said search warrant is approved and the owner or the tenant tells them to go pound sand, I'm sure I'll be getting phone calls for this. What sort of liability does this put us in since this is a legal civil procedure? I mean, a search warrant, but
arrest them and take them away. I mean, you get to
well, that
use your.
yeah, I don't know.
And that's where your discretion, and this is Fortville, it's not.
Right.
South side Chicago, so, but yeah, so, I mean, you get an order from a court, that is serious.
Yeah, I get that. I just don't know if I'm 100% with, they tell me to go pound sand and then we end up breaking their door down to go for a civil penalty. I don't know if I'm 100% behind that, or I'd need to do more research on it, but I know the search warrant, if it gets to that point, they're not going to let you in anyway. So, and for us on a criminal action, we have the authority to break doors and enforce entry. On a civil action though, do we still have that same protections?
Yeah, you still have your qualified police officer acting on it. But it's a good question, so we can look at that.
Yeah.
As well, see
And I would like to see if there's any case law history with that, maybe it went up to higher court.
Don't most rental agreements, I don't.
Most rental agreements have an inspection clause.
Right, that you can expect them anytime you want to inspect them anyway,
I do know, doing this for quite some time, if somebody doesn't want them in their house, they don't want us in their house, they're not gonna let us in their house without us breaking something, and you
Well, then
know,
maybe that's when we get the property owner involved
yeah.
and let
Well,
them.
does, I guess, denying a court order, does that jump up the escalation as far as, it doesn't all of a sudden make that into criminal?
Yeah, that, I mean, it's a contempt charge.
Mhm.
I mean, but it's still civil or like, I guess.
The
low enough
judge would
for-
have to impose that penalty on a contempt of court because they've denied the judge's order. So then the judge would have to say yay or nay, you're going to go to jail for 3 days or whatever. They would impose the penalty at that point.
Okay, so it could ultimately then jump to misdemeanor or felony. I mean,
I mean,
We hope that doesn't happen.
yeah, I mean, that's the ultimate
Yeah.
goal is to make sure that never happens.
yeah.
And to work it out civilly, but
Right.
I know there are some times that may come up, so.
Yep.
Just wanna make sure all our bases are covered on the liability end of the police department if we get involved in that.
Any comments? I'm gonna public comment then. Randy, you want to talk? You got something to say? Yeah. Yeah. With the whole thing? With the whole thing?
Positive meaning to this. Wow. Or going to buying real property.
Did what?
Buy a real property.
I'd like to hear why you don't like it. Can you get up here and talk? Would you mind?
No.
Because you're one of the ones I haven't talked to, and I really do put a lot into you guys' opinion. I mean, it's not like,
NDSQ 949 Linda Drive. Been here my entire life. Started buying property when I was, 19 or something. And it's a small town. It's a great town. We used to do business on a handshake, as that guy right there knows. And I try to do my best with my rentals. This is an administrative nightmare. And I pay a lot of property taxes, and I'd rather see our taxes go to good, positive things like Kammy's Kause and civic things. And this is going to just create an absolute nightmare for the town to keep track of, which is all of our tax dollars. We don't have a big enough problem in this town, and no one convinced me that we do. I think my tenants love me. And I love them.
well, they probably do. And like I said, I don't think a lot of this doesn't even touch you guys. This is
Just the registration itself. But I could live with just a simple registration. But all this, having have your certificate, never lose it, because then you won't be able to rent your property out. I'm under penalty of fines if I violate a maximum occupancy standard, which is not even in here. I read this thing 3 times, and I know you've redlined it a lot, and it first made sense, but that was for Bloomington. And it's overkill. Someone would have to get up here and tell me that we've got a real severe problem with rental property.
we have a real severe problem with rental properties.
Not mine.
Not yours, not yours. I'm not saying yours.
Not
These are mostly people that are not from here. They own property here and they don't live here.
Create some kind of absentee landlord thing.
But that's probably this is part of what we're trying to do here is to get most of these people we can't even contact. Jerry can't even find them.
Well, and I told Jerry I would help him, but
Yeah.
it captures all your good homegrown people that's really tried their best to do what's right.
And a lot of them are the least of our worries.
I know.
Yeah.
This is kind of a net that just goes over everybody needlessly. And I mean, I've always tried to participate as to the extent possible, fireworks, whatever. And I would much rather see those kind of resources going to the positive things in this town, not the few, if there are absentee landlords, but you're never going to have a problem with me or Brad or
Right.
Kevin or
Right.
Bob or any of your local guys. And I mean, everybody's got our cell phone numbers. If there's an issue, we are on it like that.
And I agree with that 100%.
But, the absentee stuff, I understand that, but why can't we do something that just tries not to create a massive regulatory scheme that's going to take a lot of town resources, a lot of otherwise good.
I mean, all it's going to do for you guys is have to just register the properties. That's it, basically. The ones that follow the rules and do what you guys do. That's all it's going to be for you. It's the other ones that are going to cause the problem, and those are the ones we want to affect. That's the reason for doing it. So yours is just basically a registration process is all it is.
No, but the language is the language.
Right. You still have to do the right thing, which you guys always do the right thing. If you do the right thing, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
But
it is a lot. I get it. But
yeah.
But the bad apples are the ones that make it necessary, because and it's only protecting you guys, I feel like. It's not.
Gotta be a way to carve it down to the bad apples. I mean, there's got to be a way to look at absentee.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is, but you would.
Council adopts law, creates ordinances. Here's how we want things to operate in the town of Fortville. And the expectation is that the good apples, the bad apples, the half-eaten apples, all the apples
Are in the same basket.
Well, that's the problem with big government.
Yes. And that's a problem I have every day because I struggle with it.
For me, at times money.
Why would it cost you money? Why? How do you see that costing you money?
Just the time it takes. And as I said, if Jerry was call me up, I'd say, hey man, I'll meet you there. And that's.
And he would still do that.
But this, and I don't know exactly how many rentals there are in this town. I've never counted them, but just for the town itself to administer this, that's costly.
Yeah.
And anyway, listen,
okay.
I know you guys.
That's why the statute that allows this requires that fund that's in here. So that's out of a state law that empowers the town to adopt this. That the fees that we're talking about, collecting inspection fees, $5 registration fees, it's meant to be self-paying.
Used for this purpose.
It's not a taxpayer.
Right, I'm aware of that law. Trust me, I'm very aware of all this. And hey, you can do most of the stuff. There's no question.
Yeah.
This is a political thing, and you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not suggesting nothing. This is illegal. I'm not in any way.
I just want to protect our town. That's the only reason why I'm so hung up on this. It's just, yeah.
I mean, and me too. I don't like this dropped on me or any of the local good apples.
Yeah.
But I appreciate your position.
Yeah.
Appreciate all your positions. I would just respectfully request that if there's a way to carve this back and appreciate the good apples.
So here's a question. So it seems like the big hurdle here is government shouldn't and can't really pick the winners and losers and pick individuals, it seems like. So like I said, it's got to be a blanket for everybody. So what, I guess, would you propose, or what do you propose that either we take out, or somehow that we can still do what we need to do to, have some kind of punitive thing against the bad actors without hurting people like you?
Unfortunately, I'm not the lawyer.
Yeah.
And I can't really answer.
Well, I didn't know if you had like any,
But what I was really hoping for was a very simple registration, because if Jerry can't get a hold of these certain absentee guys, then that's easy. You know, everybody would register,
Yeah.
but hopefully you could do it on a computer system or something that's not going to be, very burdensome. But that's what I was hoping it would be. And then I could, I can tolerate that. But then once he can contact him, he's got all the ammunition he needs. I mean, he's a code enforcer. And, anybody, in all reality, if a tenant has a problem and they call Jerry, they're letting him in.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So
I guess if you're on the up and up, what in here are you worried about that you're going to get caught up in?
What am I going to get caught up in? Well,
Yeah.
the perfect example is what I just stated, these occupancy standards. That's ridiculous. That's whatever, a $2,000 fine, and then it's not even defined. I don't want more restrictive occupancy standards. Any professional management company or owner, they use HUD guidelines. That's 2 heartbeats per bedroom, endorsed by state statute. And, I don't want to see those get more restrictive. I got a tenant right now. They just had a baby. Oh, what? Am I going to evict that tenant
No.
because they just had a baby?
Mm.
Well, if you go by the letter, and that's what happens in these situations.
I know.
I've seen this happen all over the place.
I guess, I mean, are you turning a closet into a bedroom, or I'm just trying, like, what, I guess at that point, somebody having a baby, I guess, what specifically did it violate then as far as the occupancy?
What did it violate in this house written right now?
Yeah.
Well, right now, this implies that you're allowing 5 people. Well, I have 4-bedroom houses. I can't limit that to 5 heartbeats, and you're right. This got, there was this in the red line there that got marked out.
Right.
But we were getting into the Bloomington thing, which nobody wants. And I think everybody agreed that we don't want to go there because we just don't have that kind of community.
Yeah.
So that would have to be cleaned up. That's a big concern. But quite honestly, if anyone that if this was about public safety, I guarantee you, if any tenant of mine, if they was to call Jerry, they would welcome him in to the house.
Yeah.
No one's trying to keep him out. And this whole notion that we're going to have
But if a neighbor calls and complains.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother.
I know, so I said that it's.
a whole nother thing. I mean, tenants have a right to privacy as well.
Yes.
You don't want to be walking around with a sledgehammer. I mean, just because they can't own a home, that don't mean.
But they still have to be good neighbors, because just because they don't own the home doesn't mean they have to act like a homeowner, even though they're not. And that's
About those homeowners that living next to me.
I know. Well, I mean, that's what I mean. Yeah, we all have those. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah.
I can't control those guys, and they own their home.
Right.
So, I mean, in all fairness, let's think about the tenant for a minute. And now someone who really has a problem, I can assure you, they're going to make a phone call. Jerry's going to go over there, or they could call Hancock County Health Department. Someone's going to be there immediately. The situation can get resolved. The other thing, I can't, if he can't get a hold of absentee, I don't know if they're companies or whatever. This is, to me, is just heavy-handed for Fortville. And when you got, and Joe might know, but I don't even know how many
What's going on?
local landlords we have as opposed to, out of state.
We can probably run a report and get close, but off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. I think I did get a report for the council early on something very similar to this when we started looking at these guidelines.
But the occupancy has come up. That's a fair point. That's whether it's a separate ordinance or whatnot, but that'll be cleaned up. I've got that down and we'll look at that. On the absentee piece of that as well, there have been some suggestions, but we have to be careful. As you know, you can't treat, there's constitutional issues that you can't treat people that don't live in Fortville differently. But it's complaint driven, and that's intentional. I think we take another pass through that to really bolster that. And one thing I jotted down was perhaps have a process by way that the landlord property owner can have before the inspection, have a conversation with Jerry to avoid a situation where you've got a frivolous complaints. We don't want that either.
No.
Right. But really the whole architecture of it is set up that you pay your $5 registration fee that pays for the paperwork or whatnot. We know where you are and how to get a hold of you. If you sell your property, you have to re-register so we know who the next owner is. That's all straight.
Do if you got a minor change in ownership. See, that's something else. There's just so much in here.
Define ownership and does it have to be more than 50% or something? We need to have somebody that's accountable.
Yeah, you got some guy in Florida that 1% of
that's a
Stonecrest or whatever it is.
No, that's a great point, and I think that's something.
Well, I got a lot of great points.
So that's why we have you here.
So that's why I was hoping that we could just do this the friendly way.
Well, maybe a good idea would be to sit down and have a meeting with several of you, and we just kind of work on this a little bit more, a little bit closer. Yeah.
And the other owners. Do I have any tenants in here tonight? So
that's okay. I think that's probably something we should look at maybe doing. Yeah. I appreciate you speaking though. Yeah. Thanks for doing it, Randy. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. We'll work through this. Hopefully we'll find the answer.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any? Come on up. Okay. You have to come to the microphone, please, if you don't mind. I understand.
Is that young man there?
I'm sorry.
The public?
I'm sorry.
The public? I believe it says right here, public comments, 2 minutes per person.
Well, I actually asked him to speak on an issue here that we're working on an ordinance for, so it wasn't.
Be working on an issue with me too.
Okay, good. That's great.
Titus. I'm 84. I live in Timber Ridge, have a dog. I'm here to find out why you all made, or whoever made it, midnight for the fireworks. You know,
I think that's kind of yeah.
We like to go to bed. I had a dog scared to death, would not go out. The man that lit him off 2 doors away from my house, and I had to listen to him Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and last night. So I called one of the police departments, and they said, well, they told us that they can do it when the sun goes down for 2 hours after that.
That's correct.
All week, I have to listen to it. Now, I want to know, I'm a little late because I didn't know what was going to happen. But I want to know, do any of you live in Timber Ridge?
I used to. Yep.
I live really close.
Doesn't
Yeah.
count.
I live really close.
Well, I have
It
friends
is.
that still live over there. Yeah. Yeah.
What we have to put up with. Now, like I say, I'm 84. I might not be around next year, but if I am, something's got to be done with those fireworks that late in the evening.
You might ask your neighbor if they'd be willing to not do it.
He's
But
brand
it
new.
it's well, that's part of being new too, I guess. But
Well,
some people aren't good neighbors and we can't do anything about that. But we'd like for people to be good neighbors.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
But I live alone.
Yeah.
And there's just too many, I hate to say crazy, but it's truth. I couldn't go up to that man and say, hey, would you please stop doing it? No, it's not going to happen.
I think it's been like this for a long time though. Our ordinance has been,
It's
is it?
11:15.
Yeah.
I beg your pardon?
11:15 is when they're supposed to stop.
Yeah.
Midnight.
Yeah.
I called.
It's on the, and we've got it on the website.
On 4th of July, I think it's midnight, isn't it? Is it midnight on the 4th of July? I don't know it by heart, but yeah,
Well,
it's been around for quite a while. It's not new, but
I know.
you have somebody new in the neighborhood that's overabundantly doing it. So I understand.
Multi-millionaires.
It does cost a lot of money. My husband and I used to do a lot of it too. So we have always enjoyed that. We don't do that now. But
What I want to say is, I hope I'm here next year
I hope you are too.
and we do something about this late fireworks. It's hard on the dogs.
My dog was upset too, but we just sat with him and loved on him and he made it through it. Yeah. Yeah.
Takes 2 minutes to say things.
Yeah.
I'm an impatient person.
It
Yeah.
is midnight on the
Yeah.
4th.
Yeah.
The other ones,
Yeah.
leading up and after, it's
Yeah.
11:15.
Yeah,
Thank you.
the 1st through the 9th, it's leading up and after it's 2 hours, and then on the 4th, it's midnight.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Alex?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else? Okay. Let's do the department. Joe.
Okey doke. Well, as most of you know, I've been out of the office for a couple of weeks dealing with some family issues, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to take a couple more days off either this week or next to continue that. But in the meantime, I was still trying to conduct business and get some things done. Give you some updates on the trail to the school. That next phase is considered phase 2 that goes from Fortville Pike down to the school campus. It looks like we're going to push that project back 12 months. So it'll go to July 27th. Reasoning for that, the money from the MPO is limited as far as when they get the money. If they don't get it spent that calendar year, they lose it. If it's committed to a project and the project doesn't happen, it's gone. With this project, we had to go back through the environmental approvals because when we first started this project back in 2015, those approvals were expired. So it's taken a little bit longer. I think the state is limited on some resources and manpower at this point, and it's taken a little bit longer. We feel like we could actually go to bid in like January or February. But if something happens and the project comes in 5% over what the estimated project cost is, it's got to be rebid. If there's not enough time to rebid, we lose the money. The project doesn't happen unless the town, wants to come up with several $1 million. So by pushing it back to July, it just reassures us that the funding's still going to be there. We can go out to bid. Hopefully we'll get the permits. If the bids come in too high, it gives us an opportunity to go back and relook at things, whether we change scope or, just try to hone in on some things to try to get better numbers. So just to let you know, that's kind of what we're looking at on that trail. The park plan, as you can see, the boards up here. Demo of the park is supposed to start the first full week of August. Let's see here. got my notes here, so I'm trying to throw them together. Along with the original BOT that we're working on for this project, Heath has got some additional park stuff that he's wanting to do. And we're looking to include that into the BOT. And I know he's had some conversation with Alex. These projects will all come out of his budget. He's already got the funding. It just includes it into the BOT and helps it to process a little bit smoother, a little bit quicker. And hopefully we'll be able to get a lot of stuff done with all this.
Good.
So look for first full week of August, demo will be starting.
Is that guarantee?
Well, if not, I'll go over and knock something down. So I will say that we contacted the cable company, trying to get rid of those cable and power lines that are going across Landmark Park. They're going to be burying those lines from Merrill Street to be Leland, I believe it is. They're going all the way to Leland. Eventually, they'll go all the way to Memorial Park and bury those lines. The idea is we want to be able to widen those sidewalks and make a connectivity between the two parks and obviously Main Street so they can have all that connectivity.
Yeah.
So you will see them out there. They're doing a little bit of work, maybe some directional boring, but they're not going to really get into it hard and heavy till after our fireworks and stuff on this next Saturday. So they may start before the first full week of August. The design for the 925 North lift station is just about complete. I told Sean that I would try to get him some drawings so he can review those, but they're in the stage right now where they're putting together the documents for the easements and right of ways that we need to install all this stuff. So as soon as they get those documents completed, then they'll be starting that acquisition phase, talking to the property owners to get that ball moving. AI innovations out here south of 234. I've been talking back and forth with Alex quite a bit, even while I was gone, trying to get this agreement put together. We've got it put together. We feel like is a good interlocal agreement between the town and AI innovations. I gave it to them. I told them that we really needed them to get it back to us in time to get it before the council. Their council, their attorneys, I guess, are looking at it. So we've not received their comments back yet. So more than likely it will get pushed to the next council meeting, and hopefully we'll be able to get that to you in time to review it before the meeting, because it's a little bit lengthy. I don't want you to have to try to make a decision that evening. Bid documents for Helmcrest Water Services. We're working on that with the engineer as well. I brought this up to council earlier on. It's probably been a few council meetings ago now, that with the manpower and with all the extra workload and stuff, we really need to start bidding out some of these projects. The water services for Helmcrest, we had those earmarked for 2014 to get those all replaced so we can start killing the old mains, retiring them in place. We've not been able to get those done. We've only got maybe a handful out of, I think there's probably 130 or so that still need to be done. So we'll be putting those bid documents together and going out and getting bids for that. And we'll be bringing that before the council for approval. After the no parking ordinance was approved, the guys started installing those signs. So you may have seen some new no parking signs pop up. Have you seen those new signs? No parking signs pop up. Okay. I know you've been out too. Be up on North Main Street where the apartments are, both sides of the road. Those have been installed. There's a couple of them around Old Bridge. I couldn't think of the name. Old Bridge, it didn't have any signs out there. So
did the apartments did they let the tenants know that we did that?
Well, there's signs there. They should be able to see.
Well, I know. I didn't know if they sent out any kind of.
No, I assume that the officers are going to have a little grace period with them since it's new, and give them an opportunity to see the signs and make sure that we'll be fair. Reimbursement for the unofficial detour has been submitted to NDOT. They've essentially agreed to the information that we sent them as far as the estimates. There were some quantities and maybe some casting components of that they had questions on. So I resubmitted that back to our engineer to hone those numbers down. So I looked to, get some reimbursement funds back from NDOT so we can put that toward the Stat Street project and getting that rebuilt and back in decent shape. As I sent an email out to the council earlier, the street department building is falling down. The roof is falling down. The walls are good and everything's good. Our guys were out in the middle of the lot. It's a tall building, so it's kind of hard to see the roof unless you're way out in the building. And one of the guys noticed that there was a little bit of a dip. Come inside and you have to looking up, the ceiling sagging, rafters are coming apart. We reached out to the insurance company. They won't have anybody here until a week from next Monday. So it's going to be a little while before they get out here. I have had some contractors out looking at it to try to get some costs put together. Insurance did, recommend that as well. So that is in the works. And I'm sure there's other things that I'm just not thinking about. I was just sitting there jotting down things I wanted to inform you on this evening. But for right now, that's all I have, unless you have something for me.
Patrick wanted to talk about, when you were out, about the signals, timing on the signals. Who would be our best contact at NDOT to get a hold about that?
No, I'd actually brought that up to them when they were doing the work out there. And it's somebody in Greenfield that does the timing and sets the signals. And I'll see if I can reach out and find out who that is again. They assured me last time that they had them set where they thought they were most optimal.
That one at Vitality Drive is still just on a timer.
Is it?
You could sit there and there's nobody. And that just makes it worse.
Yeah.
But I think they need to look at it when it's busy. They need to come over here during.
Okay.
Backed up Vitality to Madison and the lights are lined up and. It's not.
Yeah, I'll see if I can figure out who that is and ask them to reevaluate.
I'm willing to do it. I just need the name.
I noticed the speed sign's been out for a long time on the west side of town. The one right there across from the Dollar General.
Yeah, I need to contact, those are not warranted any longer, so we'll need to contact the company that put them up and see if they will come out to repair them. It's a little disappointing because they kept having issues with it when it was still under contract and trying to fix it, and it wouldn't pick up traffic until you got right up on it. But it's my understanding that it's no longer under warranty, so. But I will reach out to them.
It's only like a year old, isn't it?
No, time's gone a little quicker.
Is it been 3 years? 3 years?
Time's going quick.
So
Enjoy every minute. It's going fast.
Yeah.
With the roof, is there like any issues of it coming down before somebody gets out there? Is it to that point?
I don't think so. I got a feeling that this happened when we had the heavy snows this winter. So I think it's been sitting that way. We've just noticed it. But I will say, once we did recognize there was an issue, that all the equipment is outside. We're not leaving anything inside that could further get damaged.
Okay. I just hopefully nobody gets injured.
Yeah, the trusses are just actually delaminating. They're coming apart.
Yeah.
All the gussets are pulling loose, and so. But there's a couple of different ways to fix it, and I know that they're talking about bringing in an engineer to make sure that any.
That'll be a year before it gets fixed.
Pat? Who's next?
Sorry.
Adam.
Nothing for me unless you have, nothing for me unless you have questions or anything.
Yeah.
He's
She
not
can read-
here.
She can read Adam's mind.
Adriana, you have anything?
I do.
You do?
I
Okay.
do. The clerk treasurer's office received notification from the public access counselor and the State Board of Accounts. The Indiana State Legislature passed a new law about or modifying the application for public records requests. And so that with all the changes that were made, we have updated our public records request form. Andy has uploaded that to our website. Just wanted to make you guys all aware that there has been significant changes. And we have taken, the actual law that was, passed, it's HEA 1360. And all of the requirements, all the specifications that were changed, are now in the public record request, so that there is no ambiguity as to what the law states and what can be requested and what cannot be requested and what has to be disclosed. So I just wanted to let you guys know
Great.
that form is live.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do have something, Tanya.
I asked you if you had something.
Sorry.
You missed your turn. No.
I did. I'm. Yes, I got
That's
skip
okay.
mode. So July 28th, I'm excited to say that the Hancock County Career Center is opening.
Oh, cool.
All 4 school districts in Hancock County have come together and got a career center for like all the shop classes back and welding and they're having a criminal justice program down there now. So
Nice.
that's exciting news on my end of things with the school that they've been working on for quite some time. So, then other than that, I don't have anything. I just want to throw that out there. Like I was excited about it. I think it's good.
That's
that they're
good.
getting
It is
these
good.
programs that
It's
all
great.
schools could use.
Great
again.
news. Yeah.
So, unless somebody has a question.
Andy, you have anything?
Fireworks celebration this weekend, 7 o'clock to
12?
12. Yeah. She left, but I was going to ask for the
Oh, I'm
address. and I
so
was gonna
sorry.
Chase that person down. I haven't heard anything over there in Timber Ridge. Well, yes, I have, but they haven't bothered me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at 10 o'clock for the fireworks to go off. We have the radio junkies playing, and a few drink vendors, few food vendors. We are tracking some weather. So I watched some video today on that weather, and we have checked with all the vendors. They are flexible, and if we have to move to Sunday, we will. So that's a possibility. So we are looking to make a decision possibly Wednesday, possibly Thursday. So Thursday at the latest, we will make a decision on if we need to move to Sunday. But we will make sure we get it out there in time to let everybody know and plan accordingly. So, yeah. So we'll if we just need to move it, we'll move it from Saturday to Sunday. All right.
Good.
That's all I got.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's gonna be clear.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Alex, do you have anything?
I don't.
No.
Do you have anything else for me?
Yeah, nothing. Any public comment? More? Okay. Anybody else want to talk? Get their 2 minutes. Okay, Libby? Brian?
Nothing.
I have nothing. Okay. Need to get a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
I'll make a motion to approve and sign vouchers.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:17.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for enduring.